Now we're done trimming it. We didn't powder the outside. Point this out, we powdered the inside of the latex. Don't need to powder the outside. It'll have problems with some paint sticking to it. Speaking of paint, how do we paint these things? The best paint technique I've ever come across was something that Dick Smith came up with. He's always doing research. It used to be in the old days we could make paint with an acrylic mixed with rubber cement and rubber cement thinner. Toxic crap, just horrible toxic crap. This particular material, Pros Aid adhesive and acrylic Liquitex, Dick Smith combined the words and made PAX, P-A-X, paint. You have total control over it like a real, like acrylic paint. Fast drying, you can do watercolors, you can do modeling, you can do opaque layers, you can do transparent layers, everything, airbrush, the whole 9 yards. It's great stuff. Now, the Pros Aid adhesive is not cheap. It's about 20 bucks a pint, 25 bucks a pint. You only get it from one place, ADM Tronics, I think it's called. And their minimum order is 6 pints. Yes, that's tough. I'll try to show some addresses at the end where you can get it by single pints, but you know, trust me, you pay 25 bucks for it, you are paying for so much convenience and control using this material. It's an acrylic emulsion, just like acrylic paint. You mix the two together, and some people have said 50-50. I like doing 60-40 in favor of acrylic paint. The problem with the Pros Aid is that it's very, very, very adhesive. It's very tacky. You end up having to powder this to set it, but if you mix 60-40, you don't have to worry about that as much, and it still is flexible. It still sticks really well. It's not as shiny. We left the gorilla looking shiny because they look shiny. But I'm working it on. I'm sponging it on, and then after I got my basic coat, wherever I know hair's not going to be, I came back with a darker, transparent wash. I think I used a straight black over this dark brown. It's kind of hard to tell here, but and I airbrushed the shadows in. You have to clean your airbrush more often using this acrylic emulsion mixture, but again, it is worth it. If you can airbrush layers of wash on something, it's great. This stuff can also be used on appliances, foam latex appliances. It can be used on people. It's harder to get it off of people because they do want to get paint off, but for some reason. But you can get it off. This is great stuff. So I've painted it. I like it, and I'm going to go after I've done the skin here. I'm going to go and paint the eyes. Now, if you're making a display mask, something that's just going to be put on a shelf to look at, then you will paint the eyes that are in there. This is a display mask, though it has eyes in it. The first one I poured up was a mask for my own self, so I cut the nostrils out and I cut the eye holes out. Most people want to do that. I like to do both. I'll make fake eyes, or you can get glass eyes or plastic eyes and stick inside the mask when you're not using it. And then when you want it, you just take the eyes out and wear it. But I'm going to show real quick here. I'm just painting the eyes. It's very simple. I find a focal point for the eyes. And just most of the actors had brown eyes. I paint the eyes brown. I think all the actors had brown eyes, actually. I've never seen a gorilla with blue eyes. I just paint it with acrylic, make the iris and so forth, and get ready to make the pupil. And just paint it with acrylic. I could give a whole other 30 minutes on how to make eyes different ways out of plaster, resin, all kinds of materials, epoxies. Show you how tricks how to make veins and stuff. But that's another tape. That's not this one. Make sure our eyes are focused in one direction. And after we do the whites, go in and we lay in irises and the pupils and do a little bit of pink around the edge. We give it to make them look alive, because that's the secret of eyes, is a glassy finish. We use a material that's kind of related to the acrylica family. It's called Mod Podge. It's been around since the 60s. I used this when I was a kid on things. And I brush Mod Podge over the eyes and give a nice watery brushing and let it set up. And it gets glassy. You can see it here. It's real reflective. I come back with a second coat. Let it set up. When it's gone clear, come back with a third coat. Milky to clear, all three, 3, 4, 5 layers. It'll just keep getting glassier. And it's perfect. This is great. Stuff is great. It's not super rigid, so it's flexed with the masks. It'll flex with the mask. And it's got this really clear coat. It's really great stuff. It's good for teeth also. If you got a monster, it's got tongue hanging out. You got a creature that's got like a tear running from its eye or sweat or something. You can just use this stuff night and day on stuff. It's really great stuff. And it's cheap. The next step is the hair. And I hate hair. But for this, I decided the gorilla's hair was so combed, so well kept, that I could use fake fur and get away with it. I didn't want to use an entire head of hand-applied hair. That would drive me crazy. So what I did was I went out and I tried to find the longest hank, the longest pile of fake fur I could find. The average, what I found was 2 inches. I know they make it longer. I know they make it 3 to 4 inches. Really wonderful, realistic-looking hair, but I couldn't find any. So I'm using fake fur. But it'll work, as you will see. So I took a pattern using a paper towel, piece of paper, whatever, and put it up to the mask and did my dimensions roughly. Drew it on there, and then I transferred that onto a piece of paper that was 2 sections that looked just like the same the paper that I used. It looks like 2 different flip side, left, right. Then I taped them together loosely. Then I fit it onto the gorilla head, and then I would take the tape up, bring it out, whatever I need to do to get the hair, get it to where I wanted. That was my general pattern. Then I used that pattern to lay on the back of the fake fur, and cutting from the back with a straight razor, X-Acto knife, whatever. I marked off first the pattern with pencil, then I came in and I cut off what we see here and wrapped it. And generally I started from the cheeks and the brows and the temples first by gluing it on with contact cement and spray. There's some spray glue that's used specifically for foam. It's very good adhesive. It's like spraying contact cement. And I worked from the cheekbones out. I would take in a section with a, bring it in with a dart, cut it here, bring it in, snip it, what have you. Bring in sections, comb, 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 comb. Wished I could have shown more on how to do the hair, but the chances are that you're going to do something like this are pretty high. You may want to make your own ape mask for all I know. But you have to treat the fake fur like it's cloth, because it is bound on cloth. It's an acrylic fiber. So it's on cloth, and you treat it like cloth. You cut darts in it to shape it around. And I used sections. I did one piece that went all the way around, then I used a piece that went on top. Here is the finished mask, ready for delivery. I've got the hair to look like it's long, running strands of hair by spritzing it with a combination of water and hair gel. Once that was dry and I got my wet look going, I would hit it with tons of hairspray. And that's how I make masks. That's how I made this mask. If you really want to do your own masks, you got to knuckle under and just do it. And I'm hoping this tape gave an insight, made you go, oh, of course. Because I watch other people's tapes and I go, oh, of course. You're always learning something. Don't think you know it and go, I can do that. or assume anything. But all I can tell you is, you go, wow, it's some money here, it's some money there, or whatever. If you want to do it, you got to, you know, you got to do it. You can't do it for completely nothing. Watch this tape 2 or 3 times. If you haven't done any of this yet, just go nuts. We're looking at different masks here that I've done over the years, different things. And at the end here, I'll have an address. You can write, you can get to Berman's catalog if you want to get the mask latex. They have sculpting tools. Just call and go, can I have your catalog, please? It's full of great stuff. You can get everything. I don't suggest buying plaster from them because you gotta, you know, you gotta pay the charges. But you can get it in this town. You can get Trinity Ceramic Supply in Dallas. They're in the book. Get clay and everything from them, sculpting tools. If you're planning to do this for Halloween, start now. Because this is a laborious procedures. But man, it is so great to finish a mask and look at it and go, man, just a couple of days ago, man, just a couple of weeks ago, that was just a big bucket of clay. Think about that.